So let's get into 6 different companies that are about to write out some massive paychecks and how you can get in on it before the deadline. Now, we're going to start with yours truly, Navy Federal Credit Union. Now, Navy Federal Credit Union is generally a pretty good bank. Like, I actually use Navy Federal Credit Union. But why are they in hot water right now? Well, it says if Navy Federal Credit Union denied your claim for unauthorized or fraudulent activities between October 10th of 2022 and August of 2025, you may receive money from a $1.7 million class action settlement. And the good thing is you actually have until December 18th to file your claim. Now, just to put it out there, I have definitely had times where I had to file a claim with Navy Federal. And, there may be some of you out there that are like, hey, I didn't get my money back from that fraudulent activity. And so apparently there were a bunch of people that, filed some fraud claims with Navy and they actually denied it, or they refused to pay back that money as covered by their guaranteed protection plans, right? So with this, it says you could absolutely receive a cash settlement. It's pretty easy to fill out this claim. There's a claim form here, and you can submit that online. You also could mail it in if you choose to mail it in. So again, you have until December 18th to get this settlement, right? Now, when it comes to AT&T, I told you guys about AT&T and you're coming up on that deadline, okay? But what is the AT&T settlement all about? Well, it says here that this is about a customer data breach, okay? You guys may have received an email from AT&T earlier this year or late last year talking about your data may have been compromised. It may have been involved in a leak. And some of you were offered things like credit monitoring products that you could have signed up for. But, the government's like, that's not enough. Okay. So what they're proposing and what they've already come to an agreement on is if you were affected by this data breach, you can actually file 2 different types of settlement claims. The first one is here. It's for up to $5,000 for losses that occurred in 2019 or later. Okay. There is actually another one that you can file that is an additional $2,500. So altogether, depending on how you were affected by this data breach, you could be receiving a check for up to $7,500. Okay. This one also has a deadline on it for December 18th. Okay. If you're going to submit a claim form online, that is the fastest way for you to do it. And I personally have already submitted one online. And of course, right here is where it shows you where you would submit your ultimate claim, right? You do have to have a class member ID in order to submit your claim. And they give you instructions over here on how to locate your claim, your class member ID. So who else is on the chopping block? Well, let's see. Kaiser Permanente is up next. Now, I don't know if any of you have used them personally, but they are very widely known, at least in the southern region of the United States. And they are apparently sending out some unwanted text messages. So I don't know if any of you have ever gotten a text message from Kaiser Permanente, but as number 3 on our list, they are ultimately giving out $75 per text message. So if you receive 10 text messages from them after opting out, then that would make you eligible for a $750 payout or reimbursement, whatever they're calling it. So you would have been contacted within a period between January 2021 and August 2025. Okay, so there's like a 4-year period where if they sent you those text messages, you can get $75 per text message. Okay. Now, I'm just curious, has anybody filed with Navy Federal at this point? Has anybody filed with AT&T at this point? I mean, I just need to know, like, let me know down below in the comments if you're actually in the process of filing or if you've already submitted your claims for AT&T, Kaiser, and Navy Federal. So let me know in the comments. And I'm also curious, what other settlements have you all gotten? A bunch of you got in on the Wells Fargo one. A bunch of you got in on the Google one, the Amazon one. A lot of these big companies are like writing out these massive checks now. I'm just saying, like, money's falling from the sky, it feels like. So Anthem. Anthem is also on the chopping block because apparently they were denying insurance coverage for residential treatment. So people were apparently trying to get some treatment for like mental health support and, you know, different types of health concerns that they were having, and they were being denied. So this is for coverage between 2017 and 2025, and you do still have time to ultimately apply for this. So they're saying the minimum cash payment would be $100. This is not to say that you're going to only walk away with $100. There may be a massively larger payout depending on what you put in your actual claim, right? So you have until January 20th, 2026, and you can submit the claim online directly using their claim form, or you can mail it in. I personally prefer to submit claims online because it's faster, and then you get like instant confirmation that your claim has been submitted. So that is for Anthem. Now, one more that kind of shocked me was HelloFresh. I don't know if anybody has signed up recently for HelloFresh, but years and years ago, I actually signed up for them, and it just wasn't my cup of tea, but I thought they were expensive. And at one point in time, it felt like they were constantly charging us even after we like canceled the subscription. And apparently a lot of other people felt that way too, because they're sending out $7.5 million for people that were charged subscription fees without their consent. Okay. So if you had HelloFresh, especially as a resident of California, you can absolutely file your claim for reimbursement. And this claim has a deadline on it of December 17th. Now, I can say that if you're not someone that resides in California or did, you know, during this period that they're mentioning between 2019 and 2025, you could still be eligible, like, for a different type of claim. So I was reading something that said HelloFresh had given out refunds, or, you know, was still like processing refunds for the non-California residents as well. As soon as I find the exact information on that, I will post it down below in the comment section. But I'm just curious, have any of you signed up for HelloFresh, had it, tried to cancel it, and then you got charged? Or, you know, what was your experience with HelloFresh if you ever used it? Okay. Now, next up, one that kind of like surprised me, like Planned Parenthood was involved in a data breach. Okay. And they are paying eligible people up to $5,000 per claim, right? Because data breaches are pretty expensive, not just like monetarily, but just like to your life, to your freaking privacy, right? Like, it costs a lot to recover one's identity. So courts are really cracking down on this sort of thing. So apparently there were people that received a notice via email back in August of 2024 stating that their data was involved in a breach. And if you are one of those people that potentially received something, or if a family member potentially received that notice, then you can absolutely file a claim online. I think for this claim, you actually have until January 2026, but I personally would not wait until that deadline to submit my claim. If you happen to be a person that files a claim, they are allowing you to get paid via PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, also virtual prepaid card, and paper check to whatever address you would potentially have on file. So it's up to you how you ultimately would want to be compensated. If you want to do it electronically by snail mail, you would just ultimately indicate that in your claim form. So just to put it out there, there's like 2 different data breaches that they mention in the claim form that I was just talking about. So each of those is worth $2,500 each. And if you were eligible for both of them, then that would be a $5,000 payout. So I just thought that was crazy because I'm like, come on now, you guys gotta like kind of be a little bit more careful with people's data and that sort of thing. But hey, you never know what's happening with data. All you can do is try and lock it up the best you can to keep it nice and safe. But I'm curious, let me know down below in the comments, do you have any pending claims? Like, are there companies that we haven't broadly talked about? Like, you guys know my story with Wells Fargo and like how they paid out thousands of dollars to people. So I'm just curious, what else are you guys filing claims for? What have you heard? And here's the thing, when you file these claims, you don't just have to do it for you, okay? I absolutely have family members like mom and dad that have used AT&T. I was the one paying the bill, so I could very well file a claim on their behalf. And it like the check could go to them or it could go to me because I was like the account holder and, like the person responsible for it. So if you've got like kids that were also like, cell phone holders under your account, you can be filing claims for them as well. So please don't just stop at you. Like if you're a husband and wife or you got kids or whoever is also on your plan, employees, whoever, everybody needs to be submitting a separate claim, right? So just wanted to put that out there. It's not by household, it's by the individual person. Okay, you've got until December 18th for most of these, and some of these are giving you a deadline until January 2026. So let me know down in the comments, which one of these are you going to ultimately be filing for? And, if you've gotten any amounts, I'm curious, what amounts have you been given so far? I'd love to know. The more we know, the more we get paid. This is why we share knowledge on this channel. Please let me know down below in the comments, and do me a quick favor, hit the like button on this video if you're interested in seeing more settlement types of videos. Like, I know everybody wants a little break from the job sometimes, and that's totally cool. So if you like this video, please give it a like. I really, really would appreciate it. And make sure you're subscribed so that you can be notified when I drop my part 2 settlement video for some big companies that you all use every single day. Until then, as I always say, if you stay ready, you never have to get ready. Oh,